What's going on? How y'all feeling? Y'all feeling blessed? Huh? Y'all feeling blessed? Y'all feeling good? Yeah, just trying to get myself situated here. Y'all feeling good? Talk to me, YouTube. Ah, man. I feel like the day was just a long day for me. That's how I feel. I just feel like it was a long day for me. But it's all good. It's all good. God is good. God is good. Oh, man. We just got this election. It's got everybody. Trump won this election, man. It's got everybody all going crazy. All the decisions that he's making got people going crazy. They mad. They this. They that. They all worry about their welfare checks. And Trump not gonna give us our welfare checks. He gonna cut welfare. He ain't gonna be able to get our welfare checks. Man, people are just funny. Americans sometimes just like, you can't make this stuff up sometimes. Like, if you are able-bodied, you should be working. That's it. And y'all mad? I mean, honestly, once they get these illegals out of here and they start cutting, like I don't have a problem with them. I think welfare is necessary. I'm just joking around, but I think welfare is necessary in a situation where somebody really actually needs it. But I totally disagree with welfare being a lifestyle, which has become to a lot of people. You get rid of these illegals and the jobs that the illegals that they so-called unquote doing, the people that are on welfare that are able bodies, they can go do those jobs. Easy fix. As we filter the illegals out of those jobs, if they doing the jobs, you can get those people that's sitting up there collecting welfare checks and know they can go to work. What's up, Christopher? How you doing? Welcome in, welcome in. Know they can go to work. They can go do these jobs. You on this live, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. Appreciate it very, very much. We're going to get into a few things. I'm going to try not to be too long. But you never know. Depends on how things are going. But I'm going to try not to be too long. I just want, it amazes me that. What's up, Mike in the building? How you doing? How you doing? Yo. It just amazes me that, like I'm looking at all these people on Facebook and on the news and all the other stuff, and they never talked about Trump. They made all these big deals about Trump pardoning these 1,500, but they never talked about that black woman that got pardoned. And my thing is this, the fact that they threw her in jail for protesting abortion. And my thing is this, if Kamala Harris, is that a real gun? Which one? Yeah, they real. As real as I want them to be. But yeah, if Kamala Harris and them cared about black people, why would they even have allowed that to happen to her? They should have pardoned her out before Trump got in office. If Kamala Harris cared that much about black people, knowing that was a black woman, I hear you, John, but it's a lot more. You need to go find out a little more about that. Those programs won't be affected like that. I know there are a lot of stuff that people putting out there, but you can't just end that stuff. Social Security, SSI, it don't work that way. I mean, he's just trying to find another way to fund it. It's not going to work that way. I get what you're trying to say, and I understand your point and where you're going with it. But my thing is this: is that we have a tax structure over here, but why is it that the citizens are eating the blunt of the tax structure? Like we're getting taxed on the houses that we own. We're getting taxed on the stuff that we purchase. We're getting taxed on the paychecks that we get, and it's just tax. Meanwhile, these countries are making tons of money off of American citizens, but they're not getting hit like we're getting hit. So I'm agreeing with him. I think they should be hit so that we can get relief. Now, should we get rid of these programs a lot? No, I'm not talking about that. Now, I think welfare needs to be revamped. Yeah, I do. But SSI, Social Security, and things like that, they should be funded by other things too, not just Americans' tax dollars. Yeah, I know, but I understand. That's my point that I'm trying to make, John, is that, yes, it's funded through taxes, but payroll tax, no, they don't. They really don't. You really should. Thank you. Thank you, Cola. Is that makes Cola? Is that Cole makes? I don't know. My eyes are a little blurry right now, but yeah. Now, thanks about that. Yeah, I get what you're saying, but it's not totally funded. Like when you start to say that the Social Security and stuff like that to pay your payroll tax and Medicare tax and Social Security tax, a lot of them are individualized, and people don't realize that. But if you hammer some of these countries and all of the money that they're making, and you charge them taxes on that, you can redirect the funds. My thing is this, honestly speaking, if you cut out the fat in government, you can fund these programs. It's the stupid stuff that government, to me, is the bigger problem. And most of us don't even realize what government is spending. Why did the government try to spend $37 million on buying condoms for another country? That was the reason why they put the pause, because why would the government spend $37 million on condoms? And that was the reason why Trump put that pause out there, because they, again, trying to shove stuff in there that we should not be paying for. So I get what you're saying, John. And my thing is this, is that I don't think Trump have any intention of trying to get rid of these programs. But when you really pay close attention to what they're doing, what they're trying to do is finding in small little things to be able to give the everyday citizens tax relief. But you still got to get that money from somewhere. Yeah, that too. But you already know what I'm talking about. You know where I'm going with that. But that's why I said, so I know that there's not no 100% guarantee and there's a perfect system in that. But I really feel like that if you chop away at these stupid things that we don't need, if you get rid of all of that fat in government and all of these unnecessary jobs that they keep funding that we really don't need to have, they really don't serve the American citizen whatsoever, and you minimize and make it run efficient, you don't, be honest with you, you probably won't even have to hit the terrorist thing so hard. I don't know how far you have to go with it. I think that there should be a little more of a hit. If we're paying that much, we should be the one getting the relief. We are the voters. We are the citizens of America. The relief should be given to us. We're the ones keep, paying into the structure of the system too. We should be given that relief. So if Trump does what he does, now I know he's gonna have to find a medium in there somewhere. I can't speak to that because I don't know for sure, but I know he's gonna have to find a medium. But I don't think he's going after these programs that we need, like Social Security and Medicare and all that. I doubt if he has any intentions of me messing with it. I just think that he's trying to find another way for people to decide what to do with their money. We should not be paying all of these taxes that we're paying just for government to go waste it. That's my perspective on it. That's just my opinion on it. I'm not saying that I'm 100% correct, but that's just how I feel about it. I don't like paying taxes. I'm okay with paying certain taxes. I just don't like paying taxes. Like, here's my point. I don't think property tax should be nowhere near where it's at. I think that everybody across the United States should not be paying property tax on the scale that we're paying it. I think it's ridiculous. Oh, well overpaid and well overinflated. It is just ridiculous. Now, the other thing I have a problem, and I don't have a problem with, I don't have a problem with paying into Social Security. I don't. I just don't have a problem with that. Like, to me, when I see the elderly people, as they, get to the point where they can't work, I'm okay with paying taxes to make sure that fund is funded to make sure that they good, that they get the money from it until it comes my turn to be able to, collect Social Security or whatever case may be. So I'm 100 with that. I agree with that. I don't think I don't think that type of funding should go away, because at some point somebody's too old to work. They're too old to work. They should not have to work. And even if you can't physically work, you should have the 100% option financially not to. You kept the system good. You worked. You paid the thing. You put your time in. You should be able to enjoy your life. Now, if you want to go to work, that's great. But you should be able to go ahead and enjoy your life. You shouldn't have to do all this stuff. If you're on this live, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. I appreciate it very, very, very much. All right, let's talk about public education. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm not going to get into my history of my life, but I'm going to tell you like this. Public education is a joke. It is one of the one things that I think, honestly, the way it look right now, I get rid of it. I hate to even say it this way. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying every public school across the United States. I'm just talking about the ones that I have been around. And I don't see much coming out of it that's good. I'm sorry. I hate to say it that way, and I hate to be that bluntly honest, but it's a mess. That's all I can say. It's a mess. The public school system right now is feeling horrible when it comes to, especially in the inner cities. Now, I don't know about a lot of the suburban areas and what's coming out of that, but the public school system, as I see it, I'm not really feeling it. I think that there has to be some type of better incentive and reward system to say that I'll be honest with you, I don't know for sure. Personally, I don't know what is the real fix to the public school system. I honestly don't know. But I know what from the schools that I've seen in the inner city, because I'm from Philadelphia, and I just see what I see. The behavior of these kids is off the roof. And then when you look at not just their behavior, when you actually start to talk to some of these kids and you find out how little they know about basic stuff like math and some simple stuff that they should know, I can't just blame the kids. Somebody on between the parent and the schools is failing horribly. And this is a big problem. I don't know what the 100% fix is, but I know one thing: as it continues on the way it is going, from what I see, it is not worth investing in. I'm sorry. I just don't see it. And that's just my opinion. I could be flat out wrong about that, but I'm just talking based off of what I see. Somebody else might see something totally different. Somebody might look at that and say, no, you don't know what you're talking about. And they might be right. But I'm just talking about from my experience and from what I see, I just really don't see. And you know what, John, you might be right about that, bro. You might be right about that. And you know, this is just a thought of mine. And I'm talking about, maybe I'm thinking way too far back, and I'm not saying I know because I'm not old enough to know this. But what I think happened, and this is just my opinion, and I'm talking about me because I grew up in the hood. What I think happened is in the neighborhood, in the regular neighborhoods, is that when you got out of school, when I was growing up, you had most of us if our parents wasn't home, we went to a neighbor house that knew us. And usually if you went to a certain neighbor house, they were the ones actually kind of instilling more stuff in you after you got out of school. They would teach you, sit down and tutor you how to do math and teach you this and that. And I think what's happening with this generation is everybody's hands off now. They handed all these tablets and handed all these computers and whatever, and they just letting them go. Now, that's fine because computers teach and they good and they great for that. But I think that if you put somebody in a scenario where they have access to that, they in trouble. I mean, I don't know about now, but back then, people was different. I don't know about now, but people were different. Then we didn't look at like who gonna pay for this, who gonna pay. When I was growing up, all the neighbors looked out for each other. That's what they did. Like here's the thing. A lot of times people think we need government. And here's my point to that. And this is where government, honestly, in my opinion, is the problem. And this is why I say the government's problem. When I was a kid, people in the neighborhood would watch your children. Like that's how they did. We got out of school, parents went home, you went to a certain neighbor house, and all of us went to, there was only a couple of people in the neighborhood, but we all knew where to go. Now, our parents paid those people to watch our kids, to watch their kids. We didn't have government assistance, all of this government helping out and stuff like that. Now, here's my point. If you live in a neighborhood where, you got 20, 30 kids, now, I know people going to bring up, oh, well, what if somebody touching your kid? And I get all that. I'm not getting into that part. I'm just saying my point. If everybody in their community focused on, if you got a couple people in the community educating the children that are the smarter ones in the neighborhood, and everybody's funding them, what do you need the government for? If they got the daycare and everybody's paying that daycare and they educating all the kids, what do you need to subsidize it for? The only reason why you need to subsidize daycare is because they put limits on how many adults can be the children. Oh, yeah, I agree 100% that I feel as though communities are so broken up. I think it's more so in the community. I don't really think that the schools can do much in itself because when government get involved, that's where the problem becomes. I'm sorry, I'm trying to read what you had. I mean, I get it. Listen, I get it. But I think that the school system as a whole and the way it's structured is not conducive for a lot of kids to learn. I'm sorry. I just don't think that they're getting what they should. And my thing is this: why are the kids in the suburban areas seem to be some more successful at education than they are in the hood or in the in the areas where they're not in cities and stuff? There's just something missing, and there's a behavior problem. I mean, sometimes I think these kids in the city their parents are not actually raising them and not checking them like they should check them, like we got checked when we was kids. But they just letting these kids do whatever they want to do, and nobody's disciplining these kids like they should be disciplined. They just, oh, they'll be okay. No. They don't even, when I was a kid, my parents put the belt to me. You're right. When I was a kid, my parents put the belt to me. Now, some people don't believe in spanking their children. That's well and good. I get it. I understand. But when I was a kid, my parents put the belt. But guess who else spanked me? My teachers spanked me. My neighbors spanked me. It wasn't just my parents. If I did something in the neighborhood, my neighbors would spank me and then tell my parents why they spanked me. And you know what my parents did? They spanked me. And that's what? I never been in jail. I ain't running the streets, robbing and stealing and doing nothing. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. I got issues too, like we all do. But my thing is this: it made me respect people, adults that was about right thing, and they wasn't spanking me because they just wanted to have some kids to beat on. I deserved these spankings. I earned every whooping I ever got in my life, or maybe one or two I didn't, but the other plus whoopings I got, I earned them. And as I got older, I look back and I said, man, I thank God that my parents checked me that way. I thank God that my teachers checked me that way. I thank God that my neighbors checked me that way. Because if they did not check me that way, I'd be out of control. I probably would be the ones that's out of control. I guarantee you that there's people sitting in prison right now wishing somebody would have checked them that way when they was a kid. Check their behavior. Now, that's not popular nowadays. You're right. They don't, John. You were absolutely right. I had this conversation, that similar conversation before with somebody, and I said, man, when you got in the hood, I'm going to tell you like this. In certain communities, if something falls apart, right? Let's just say there's a basketball court, and the basketball court is old, wore out, and it's cracked ground. The court's leaning over, the nets are missing, the rims are hanging down. And you go to the community, and you go to try to get the county to fix it. They will literally tell you there's no money to do it. And I'm going to use city of Philadelphia because that's where I'm from. I can't count how many times as a kid growing up, our neighborhood was a mess. The playgrounds was a mess. And it stayed that way for years. And they would not do nothing about it. But then they'll turn around and give money to some stupid stuff. Like right now, Philadelphia is trying to spend $100 million on some drug rehab for some drug facility to put drug addicts in that's going to be in the same neighborhood, in the same community, and still going to have access to drugs. But they ready to spend $100 million to do this. You ain't going to take the $100 million to better the citizens of Philadelphia lives by giving them maybe some tax relief on their property or something like that. You're going to spend $100 million on some heroin addicts. And you're going to still have the heroin addict problem. Because you keep letting all the criminals back out. The real criminals you let back on the street. Because they don't want to fix the problem. Here's the thing. The reason why places like Philadelphia don't want to fix the problem is because if there is no crime, they don't have a job. They want the crime because that's what keeps them a job. That's what keeps all these judges and all these prosecutors and all these jobs. So they need the crime to be where it's at. They want it. Because if you get rid of the crime, you're like, what we need you for? Ain't no crime no more. They want that crime. Now, me, I wouldn't care about that. If I solved crime to that point where it took me out of a job, I'd be proud of myself. I'd be like, great. All right, I ain't got no job no more. But look what we did. We saved lives. We made the community better. Look at the outcome of that. I'll be glad at it. I'll be glad to lose that job. Because I'm like, I worked myself out of a job, but we did it so well that we don't even need it no more. But the thing, of course, I'm just talking, but yeah, I would have to stay there to keep it maintained. But that's my point. I mean, listen, I think in the neighborhoods like this, like in the black neighborhoods, and I mean, I'm not saying it's just black kids. I'm talking about Hispanic, white, whatever, just in the hood because they're all there. It's not like it's one race there. It's all races in the hood. But I think that they in those type of communities, they need to start coming together and working together and building together and stop looking for the government to fix the issues that are in the communities like that. Because when you get government out the way, it actually gets better. And I know that sounds crazy, but when you move government out of the way, it gets better. And when people have the opportunity to get government out the way, and now you just take the opportunity to do it yourself, it's better. That's real talk. What's up, Tupac remix music? But yeah, I just feel like that. I've done a few things in my lifetime, and they was like, oh, you can get funding for this. I said, I don't want it. And they was like, why wouldn't you take the funding? I said, because then y'all going to try to tell me how to do it. And when y'all start telling me how to do it, that's where the problem's going to be at. So I don't want your money. If I can't do it out of my own pocket and do it with the people that works around me, then I don't want no help at all. I don't want no help at all. When I was running my basketball leagues at the time. Thank you. Have a blessed day. When I was running my basketball league at the time, that's what I did. I was like, no, I don't want that. If I can't do it out of my own pocket and get the help from the community and those that are around me, I don't want no parts of it. Because I said, as soon as the city get involved, they want to dictate and tell you how to do it. And everybody going to be looking for some accolades or look what we did. Look, I wasn't doing it for that reason. I was doing it personally because I noticed that the kids in my neighborhood didn't have nothing to do. So it gave them something to look forward to. So I started a basketball league. We had games 3 times a week. We had it, at the end of the season, they won trophies and stuff like that. And that was just my perspective on it. And some of them kids, even to this day, when I they're grown men now, but when I come across them at some point or another, they always thanking me for that moment. They was like, man, it changed my life. And that's what the community had to do. Get government out the way and let the community handle it. Now, only thing I think government, if there's money the government want to help, let the people have the money and stay out of the way. Don't give them no advice. Look at what they're going to do. Let them do it and move. Get away from them. Don't start adding in, well, we want you to do this and we want to regulate it and make sure you do it this way. No, that's where the problem is at. Get out, give them the money, get out the way and stay out the way. Because when the government people start getting in there, it becomes a problem because they are the problem. The government is usually the problem. When they stay out the way, and to me, if the government's going to fund a program, a solid, real, functional program, they should fund it and give them the money and get out the way. Don't try to tell them how to do it. And don't be coming back trying to just make sure they're doing it. As long as they're doing it, you stay out the way. Because whenever they do stuff, it's never effective. I'm going to tell you what the government does. And I'm going to go back to city of Philadelphia with this drug program. When they start this drug program and they do all this stuff, if they actually get it off the ground, the people that's going to be running these drug programs are going to have six-figure salaries. Watch. It's how this goes. It's how it always goes. They're going to open up this building. They're going to have all these people working in these programs. They're going to have all of these inflated salaries, and nobody's going to get any help. So all of that money that they're going to be funding to that is going to basically go into people's pocket, and it's really very little is going to hit the ground where it actually affects the people. And this is what they do every single time. It never really hits the ground and actually helps the people. And they say, oh, well, we need to pay people. Yeah, I know. I get it. And then they'll have all the people they cool with, their cronies working there, and they making all these high dollar salaries. And nobody's being held accountable to how productive it actually is. Case in point, Baltimore, Maryland. The head of their school district makes almost $500,000. But the kids can't read. How's that? Why is that okay? Why is it they still have a job if the students and the kids in that community in Baltimore, Maryland is not doing well intellectually wise and school wise? Why did that person still have a job? Why is that okay? Why is that acceptable? And be honest with you, that's happening around a lot of schools in the United States, in the cities. They're not performing well. So should you keep investing money into something that's not producing good product? Nobody's going to keep investing into something that's failing. If a company is failing, would you keep putting your money there? And that is my question. So should the government keep funding failing schools? That's a question I have. If what they're doing is not producing good product or good students, a good material coming out of it, and these kids ain't learning nothing, why should we keep funding it? Why should the government keep funding that if it's not working? Then maybe something needs to be changed. I don't know what they would do to change it, but they need to find out the ones that are successful, find out what they're doing and what is missing, and put it into use everywhere. Well, I'm not going to say everywhere, but more of it across the board that's working, and get rid of the stuff that's not. If you're on this live, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. I appreciate it very, very much. And I just think the inner city schools are failing horribly. And I've been around them enough, and I've been close quarters with them enough to know, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. If I had young kids today, I would not put them. I would homeschool my kids if I could. I mean, I know that's a lot for a lot of people because most people have two-family household, everybody working. But if I could homeschool my kids, I would. I would not send my kids to public schools because they're not getting much out of it. Believe me when I tell you they're not getting much out of it. And it's sad to say, but they're not. And I think if you're a smart person and you know a lot about, if you're well educated, and if you have time, go into these neighborhoods and help them. Like, spare a little bit of your time to help them get better at this stuff. That's the only thing you can do because the government and the way that they're funding it and the way the school system right now is failing horribly. And we keep electing the same people to do this and create the same mess. Why? That should not be okay. We got to raise the standard because other people are coming to this country and excelling to pass the kids that we have in this country. And it should not be that way. It should not be someone come from another country and excel in school past the kids that we have here. Not all of them, I know that, but it just should not be that way. But I think what's happening is that in the inner cities, there's no more morals. And I think John was the one who actually said it in the comment. The moral fiber of a lot of the inner cities is just gone. They have no standards no more. Everything, the standard is dancing and singing and shaking your behind and revealing your body. That's it. And they starting to do it way too young, and it's just no standard at all. And this is what they're learning, and this is what they're being taught. And then that's why when they get in the real world, they can't compete. They can't compete with the real world because this is what they're being taught. This is what they're getting filtered into their life all day long. How to dance, how to sing, shake your behind, halfway take your clothes off and stuff like that. And then when they get in the real world where they don't control nothing, they're not a part of no industry and they got to go work for somebody. And then they mad because the person is telling them what to do, but the parents didn't teach them how financial literacy. They didn't teach them, make sure they knew how to read well. They didn't make sure they knew how to write well. They didn't make sure they knew how to do math well. They didn't teach them no type of trade. They didn't teach them how to build stuff, make stuff, measure stuff. They didn't teach them no type of engineering. They don't teach them how to create and build, how to blueprint, how to read blueprints. None of these type of industries, how to work on cars, how to fix this and how to fix that. These kids are not learning this stuff. So when they get out in the real world and they don't know how to do nothing, they got to pay everybody else because they can't do nothing themselves. And then they got to go try to watch videos on YouTube, which we all do it, to try to hopefully somebody put something there that you can kind of learn something off of. And a lot of this stuff is what's missing. If I was a young person today, and I'm not the only one saying this, there's other people that have said it, and you really get a hold of this game, you'll be a champion amongst people, this generation. Because you won't have a whole lot that could compete with you. You'll run circles around this generation, and you'll be a beast before it's all, and they'll be looking at you like, how you do all this? How you do it? Well, you know what? I learned it all. I put it all in the book. I learned it all, and I went full steam. And it'll be hard to compete with you because they don't want to learn nothing, and they don't even have you. It's a lot of them that don't have no ambition. They don't have no drive. They don't have the desire to be nothing. You ask them what they want to be. Oh no. How many rappers you think gonna make it? How many singers you think gonna make it? Honestly, you got them a dime a dozen. There's tons of them. Everybody want to be rappers and singers and athletes. But when you look at the scale of the success of them compared to how many people doing it, you'll find out. Not saying you can't, but it ain't that easy. You count all of the rappers that was out there, the vast majority of them didn't make it. The vast majority of them didn't make it. And the ones that did had to find something else to make some money off of too. They couldn't stick to that because it really wasn't the type of money they thought it was going to be. But this generation coming up, they really have to change that perspective and take life more serious and learn more, not just trying to be entertained all the time. That's why, I had a conversation with somebody about TikTok. I said, no, I don't have no TikTok. I said, because most of what I see on TikTok is just a bunch of people singing and dancing. But when you look at TikTok in China, it's not the same TikTok we get over here. When TikTok over in China, they teaching these kids how to be, these kids they're probably an engineer by the time they hit 10 years old. Because they teaching them how to make stuff, build stuff, engineering, science. They teaching them real life stuff that they will use in life. And they great at it before they even get out of school. Before these kids even get out of school, they are masters at a lot of this stuff. But when you look at American schools and you look at what these kids are learning in America, they don't know how to do nothing. They don't know how to do nothing. And I'm not saying all of them, but a lot of them don't know how to do nothing. And some of them are actually grown now and still don't know how to do nothing. Some of them probably don't even know how to tie a trash bag. That's how bad some of it is. That's how bad it is in some cases. And like I said, that's just my opinion. You don't have to agree with it. You don't have, you can agree, you can disagree, whatever the case may be. But honestly speaking, I just don't. When it comes to the school system, I just think that there's a whole lot missing. And I don't listen. I don't think none of us really have the real answer to it all. But I think that the more we talk about these type of subjects and the more we dialogue about these type of subjects, I think at some point we're gonna come up with a real solution, and we're gonna have the type of solution that these schools really need, that can actually make our schools better. And I think we need to go back and look at history. That's where I think we need to do. We need to go back and look at history, find out when was our most successful schools was doing at the time and what they were doing and why did it work. And what did we get away from that we need to bring back and to try to get these kids to become more successful and more ambition and more drive to want to do stuff. Because right now, with all that's happening, it's going to be a big opportunity for that. Whether you like Trump, not like Trump, whatever the case may be, it's going to be a lot of opportunity for that. And if we don't have the right people, and we don't have the right people coming out of school, who's going to fill this stuff? Who's going to be able to do this stuff? And how you going to be if they looking for CEOs of companies and managers, but these people don't have finance, don't even understand how finance work, how to operate, and how business work. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna help none. You need those type of people coming out of school. And what I've seen in the schools that I've been around, I just don't see no quality coming out. And it's sad to say that, but I just don't see it. But I think in every community, the people that are the smarter people in the community, hopefully they take some of their time and teach some of these young kids more than just how to shake your behind and sing and dance. Teach them how to read a ruler, how to read, how to understand math, and stuff that's of substance that they're going to need throughout life. You know what I mean? You might have a guy in the neighborhood that tinker with cars. You know what I mean? Tell your kid, just if you got a guy in the neighborhood, if you got a husband or something and you don't work on cars, but there's a guy in the neighborhood that tinker with cars all the time, you tell your little boys, go around that man and watch what he's doing. You see a man in your neighborhood and somebody that's in your neighborhood that does all this type of building and stuff, and you got some young teenagers, tell them to go help them. It's, they might not, I understand you want money, but sometimes the knowledge of how to do something will give you the opportunity to make the money yourself. If you go around somebody that does carpentry and he teaches you how to frame and how to cut wood, how to measure and all that other stuff, and how to blueprint and design stuff so you can work on something, and how to do plumbing and how to do all that stuff. And he say, I'll take you and show you, and you learn how to do all that stuff. Now you got a trade that you can take and feed yourself with. My dad, when I was a kid, my dad used to take me to work all the time. I didn't want to go. But he used to take me to work with him, not every single day, but on the weekends, sometimes I would go with him. And by the time I was 16 years old, I knew how to frame out houses. Like, I was good at it. I was installing stuff and doing plumbing. I was doing stuff, and I didn't realize what he was teaching me. My dad would get dragging. I want to play with my friends, and he want to drag me to do this stuff. But at some point, I needed it, and it was feeding me. When I got older, I needed it, and it started feeding me. So that's what I mean by these kids need to learn more than what they're getting out of school. And I don't know where it's missing that, but they need to get more out of these schools than what they're getting. Because these schools are not teaching them enough. They're not teaching them enough. I don't. If I'm out in the neighborhood and going around, I rarely see any kids in the neighborhood doing anything like that constructive. The only thing I see the kids doing most of the time is playing basketball. When we was kids, yeah, we played basketball. We was making our own go-karts. And we didn't even know what we was doing in the beginning. But at some point, we figured it out. We was making our own clubhouses. We was just doing stuff, constructive stuff, and trying to figure it out. And then when we did finally accomplish something, like, man, look what we did. Now let's go repeat it again. Now we want to race each other with our go-karts. I don't see these kids doing none of that type of stuff. They don't know how to do nothing. And these parents think these kids are smart because they know how to touch the screen and move stuff around. Oh, my kid, a baby, look, he moving, he touching the screen and he using. He know how to go to YouTube. He know how to do it. They was born and raised in it. It just now it's second nature. It's not making them smart. It don't make them better or smarter than another kid because they know how to use a phone. Everybody's using phones around them. They're going to pick that up. It's just going to happen now. Because everybody's doing it. Babies see that when they come out the womb, they see everybody using this stuff and touching the screen. Kids have a tendency to copycat. Why are you doing that? That's it. But if you teach these kids other stuff, how to fix stuff, make stuff, build stuff, take stuff apart, see how it works, take it apart, put it together, see how stuff works. They're not doing that no more. And they're going to be lost. When they get grown, they're going to be lost. They're going to be out here in the street trying to figure out what to do, and they're going to know how to do nothing. When they go to apply for a job, they're going to have to take whatever job they have to offer because they don't know how to do nothing. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think working on any scale is great. Ain't nothing wrong with a small beginning. I was a small beginner. Ain't nothing wrong with small beginners. Small beginners are beautiful. But you got to learn how to start somewhere. But you don't limit yourself to one thing. You become a master of everything you put your hands on. That way, when they're looking for somebody to know how to do something well, you that person. You that person. But I'm not going to be for y'all long. Just want to get over here and say hello to everybody. Thank y'all for being on this live. I appreciate it very, very much. Thank y'all for kicking on the brother. I'll be back live Friday. Don't know exactly what time, but I'll be back live Friday, what I call Freestyle Fridays. Appreciate y'all coming in. Appreciate y'all comments. Appreciate everything y'all doing. Please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. Like I said, I'll be back Friday sometime. I don't know exactly what time because I never know. It's called a Freestyle Friday, so there's no, subject or stuff. I just go on and we just go on whatever it is we go on. But like I said, and the other thing is that, like I always tell people, if you don't have God in your life, if you don't have Jesus Christ in your life, get to know him. There's a little net flying around here. Wait. If you don't have Jesus Christ in your life, please get to know him. Please get to know him. He's a life changer. But like I said, y'all have a blessed, wonderful day. I'm going to get up out of here because I'm getting sleepy and I'm getting tired and I want to go to bed because I've been all full steam all day long. But, again, I'll see y'all Friday. For those that are interested, again, please hit the like button, subscribe button. Thank y'all for hanging out with a brother. Y'all have a blessed, 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 wonderful day. Peace.